Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Karina Pang's TV show. Maybe one day I have my own TV show, but now it's just live class from my beautiful home in San Diego County. How are you today? So, this year is almost over. This year is just like gone in the blink of an eye for myself. What about you? So it's already September, and soon it will be October. It's going to be Thanksgivings again, and Halloween first, and Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then New Year all over again. It's crazy, right? How fast it gets as you get older. Just like every day is just rolling like an avalanche. So those who just arrived, say hello, say maybe like or love, or say hi, or please share this broadcast to your friends so they can also tune in, because we will cover a lot of very important things pertaining to relationship and life issues. And of course, I have my white wine here. So we had such a great retreat last month, the Labor Day weekend. So if you haven't been in my retreat, I invite you to come probably next year. I don't know yet if it's going to be summer or maybe before the summer, because summer gets really hot. And we will also probably do our first retreat overseas. I think we might do it in Europe for our first overseas retreat. Might also be in Bali as well. So be prepared, stay tuned, sign up for my newsletter, and also like, follow, and see first my fan page. So every new update regarding retreats or engagement or just my normal posts every day, you'll be in the loop on your newsfeed. If you don't do that, Facebook might not present my new posts because of the change of algorithm with them every so often. So hi to those who just join in with us. Hi Nikki, hi Nolita, hi Kathy, hi Martina, hi Mika. Aren't you called Mika Michelande? So good to see you here. And you have a good question. I might just answer first, Michelande. Since you are such an avid student, you are doing Journey Inward right now, right? And you're telling us that you are actually doing very well in terms of that, dropping so many stories in your head. Yeah, but your partner might not understand the principle of dropping of stories. I totally understand that, because I also have a partner who has no conception of this notion called dropping the story. So we will discuss your question. But before we go on, I would like to say congratulations to the 4 ladies who just got engaged in September. It's Francine, Gwen, Jessica, and Sarah. Ladies, congratulations. Hopefully you get the relationship and the marriage you want. So if you stumble upon any problems, you know where to come, right? Just call me, right? Let's see what else. What other announcement I have? Oh, don't forget, I have a September sale. That is the end of summer sale, and it will end on the end of the month, which is the 30th of September at midnight California time. So if you haven't been able to afford my products, my programs, because you say it's so expensive, this is the time for you to get some discounts. The discounts won't be crazy, like 50%, 30%. So anyone who offers that kind of discount is because their programs don't really sell. My programs sell like hotcakes, right? So the discount I give usually like $50 a program, or not like 20 or 30%. But the entire program of Feminine Magnetism, that is a huge program consisting of 5 modules and 27 weeks or 54 hours of continuous teaching. That program has $300 worth of discount. So if you are really interested in deepening your understanding of the mind, of man, of relationship in general, please sign up for that very dense program. And dense, but also very illuminating, very enlightening, very educational. So I guarantee, upon finishing, not even finishing the program, but during the program, you will already see results both in your romantic life and in your life in general. Your life will turn upside down because this program will teach you like nothing else in the world how to become emotionally intelligent. And probably some of you who are in the program can also chime in, put your questions and comments on the comment sections, and I will read them for the other ladies. All right, so let me answer Mika's question first. Hi, Kat. Question. If you have dropped your I stories and your partner is not conscious, how do you deal with their I stories broadcasting in your relationship? Yeah, I have, of course, similar experience because, I'm also in a relationship, and then my partner isn't particularly keen on the stuff that I'm teaching or doing. He doesn't know the sort of thing called inner work, right? Even though he's been on therapy, in therapy for not recently, but he was in therapy for some of his issues, right, growing up. So yeah, he knows a little bit of inner work, but to really like impart the kind of knowledge I have, I think it shouldn't be coming from me because I cannot be his mother, cannot be his therapist at the same time. From time to time, I will talk about what I talk to you, but so far, sometimes it just doesn't register. It goes into one ear, comes out on the other. So that's why it's very hard to mix relationship with like coaching, right? You cannot coach your partner. So it's always better when he hears it from somebody else. You pay me a lot of money to hear my advice. This is what I've been telling him. I said, I charge a lot of money to give this kind of advice, and you are here not even like caring about what I say, if trying to understand at all. So, but it is what it is, right? It is part of relationship that it's very hard to mix romance with the position of being an advisor or a mother or a coach or therapist. So I haven't really tried that hard to sort of do it, but I would say it from time to time just to remind him that, his perception is his reality. So sometimes you have to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes so you know that what is true to you might not be so to other people. So when you take things so personally because of your perception is very egoic, right? All kinds of perceptions are very egoic based. That's why it's called perception. It's seen through the lens of the I or the ego or the mind or the self. That's why it's always very limited to egoic needs. That's what basically perception is. It's also called mind perception or ego perception. So most people, unfortunately, if you've been following me a while, the vast majority of people, see lives or view the world through the lens of their egoic consciousness or egoic perception. And what is it, what kind of stories they carry is, of course, vary from person to person, depending on their experiences growing up throughout life, or maybe their upbringing, or maybe the wounds they experience being with certain caretakers or parents who are not fully there for them, or who abuse them, or who themselves were unconscious. So as I always say, your unconsciousness will always bring about other people's consciousness. Your neurosis will always bring about other people's neurosis, and it works in a feedback loop process. So it's very important for you to be conscious yourself, so you become a beacon of example to those around you, to people around you. Okay, because you cannot, again, even I cannot change my man, my partner. You can only change yourself. Doesn't matter you live with a Buddha, for example. If you're not ready within yourself, if you haven't cultivated that capacity to be expanded, to be more aware, whatever that person says, that Buddha says, it's not gonna compute. Like, it's not gonna register, right? So again, I'm only useful for those who are ready for my message. For those who are not ready for my message, they just think I'm crazy, or I'm just boring, or I'm not resonating. And then that is okay. That is okay. I'm totally fine. So, but I know for sure, the minute they come to the place that, I want more out of this, out of life, in a way that I want more understanding how life unfolds, how human beings are wired, then they will gradually find me more and more attractive. So until they come to that point, and it can be induced by, for example, tragedies, or they have hit their rock bottom, they're suffering, they're living in anguish, and then that is usually the time when they want to do the deeper work on their own stuff. That is the time when I become interesting or appealing to you or to these people. So to those who are not ready for my message, will find me very nonsensical, and that is okay. So back to your question, Nika. So how do you deal with partners who are not in the slightest on the same page in regards of inner work? Like, he doesn't understand the concept of perception, how your perception creates your reality. He truly believes whatever he thinks in his mind is the world, is reality out there, right? So I more or less live with someone like that too. And then the past week or the past few days, it's been in a very lousy mood. Lousy mood too, mood and mood, both. So why is that? Why do people like going through cycle of like depression? Like, some days they feel like really shitty about themselves, right? They start sort of living in their own mind, almost like that. Obviously, they're concerned about something, which, again, from my point of view, only exists in their heads, right, or in your heads. But for them, it's real. This is a story. Like, I carry all my life that my parents did this to me. My mother was like that. My dad abused me. My dad was never home, and my childhood was very difficult. I was bullied, and so forth and so on. So basically, what stories? What are stories? Stories are based on past events, right? In a lot of our case, we relate to the I stories based on our past experiences, either growing up or in the recent past even. And then that we carry those stories all our lives. Oh, I am very so and so. I'm not that good in this and that. I am whatever you describe yourself that you take as absolute truth. That is what stories are. Okay, and then from time to time, you'll feel very burdened by these stories. Like, oh my God, I'm so not cool. I'm so not smart. I'm not where I want to be in life. I'm not that successful, this and that. And you're revisiting again the old wounds, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in you're very moody. You're in a lousy mood. You bring that mood into your relationship, and then you project it onto your partner. Next thing you know, their response is not exactly what you want them to respond to, and you get angry, and then your anger brings out their anger, and so forth and so on in the process. That's why relationship over time becomes so difficult, because people are so engrossed uh, in their own stories. So how do you deal with partners who are not aware that they carry and replay their stories over and over, and affecting the relationship in the process? So number one, you understand first. Like, I do understand that, for example, Joey, went through this difficult period, whatever triggered him, but he was just in a lousy mood for like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, I do understand what he went through, but at the same time, of course, I got annoyed too. I got irritated. I got affected by his lousy mood, right? And in the process, my response to him probably is not going to be exactly lovey-dovey either. And then we will have little arguments here and there because of that, because neither of us is feeling it. That is what happens in a relationship over time, right? No matter whose relationship is going to be, it's you going through the same process over and over again. So what I did was, um, uh, yeah, I would express, my annoyance, because I'm also only human. So when someone is carrying this story and then accusing you of being like this or like that, not caring about their concerns and this and that, and your first reaction is, of course, naturally, you want to defend yourself, right? That's why you become defensive when you feel attacked. So, yeah, and if that happens often enough, then, it will become a problem. So, in this case, what I did with him was that, though I do understand, because this is like this is the sort of thing that I do on a daily basis, helping my clients. They go through the same struggle, like Joey does, like Joey did or does from time to time, right? So I'm trying to tell him that whatever it is that you're projecting onto me or other people that come across his path is basically because you're responding to the unskillful thoughts that race through your head. But of course, he would argue with me that it's not that. It's not that. It's not him is the problem. The problem is other people, whoever that is that ticks him off, right? And of course, you also can relate to that. You always want to sort of to impose the problem on other people, because seems from your point of view, there are what's causing you pain and suffering, correct? So it's the same with Joey. So okay, I said, all right, I cannot, in the end, I would just say, it doesn't matter what I say, because you're not in a position to get me, to understand where I'm coming from. So I stopped doing the advising, stopped doing the, giving my point of view, because he wouldn't understand. So I might as well just stop trying. And this is the time when I see that, as a partner, you can only do so much. But a lot of time, they won't change just because you express yourself in the most logical way. For example, it doesn't work that way. So the only way that will work is just to allow him to process whatever it is that is bothering him. So what you will do is just be okay with his lousy mood for a while. You remove yourself from the situation, you take care of yourself, and then not being near him when he's in a bad mood. So wait until he bounces back from that lousy mood, and then probably he will be more open to new ways of thinking, so new suggestions, and then we can discuss it further. If not, that is okay too. So again, I wouldn't make sense to most people. So it doesn't matter what I say, and if that person is not ready for my message, I'm just going to annoy the heck out of them. So I keep my mouth shut for the most part. Yeah, I would say something, just in case that he will understand. Maybe in his, alone moment, alone time, he will reflect back on what I say and learn something from it, which I think he does. So he will say, a few days later that, after our conversation, it made me think, and I think you were right. Yeah, he often comes with that. It wouldn't happen right away. Like the minute you say something that he will understand and he will agree with you. Most likely, when you say something, he will fight it. He will resist it. And if you're not aware yourself, you're going to be sucked in that argument and then escalate it in the process. So instead of getting defensive because he doesn't agree with you or he doesn't see your point of view, you let it slide. Let it slide. Let him process. And in time, and a lot of times, not I think almost always, that people will always reflect on things spoken to them in their own time. You just cannot sort of like, breathe over their neck, expecting them to right away see your point of view. Just let them be. And sooner or later, when you're not, making him wrong, stop aggravating him, and just lean back, he will come to his senses and then, come to you and start acknowledging or recognizing that what you say holds some water or has some truth in it, that you have a point, right? That is when growth happens within a relationship. You get it, Mika? So yeah, you can try whenever he's accusing you of things, try to sort of present another point of view. And as I said, it's not always going to work. Most of the time, it will not work on the spot. But be okay with it. Be patient. Because remember, we used to be like that too. We used to be just so hung up on our view of things, on our opinions of the world, right? And then we cannot see other people's point of view. And what we see is what is real to us. I've certainly been that person. So right now, when I'm being exposed or presented with that kind of situation from other people, I become more understanding and stop trying to force my point of view, because it's not going to work that way. Okay. This is from okay, Mika, does it make sense? Okay. You say you love journey inward. Thank you, and keep doing your inner work, and then please share with us your progress. This is from Aneka. Is that how you pronounce your name, Aneka? Queen Cat with her glass of wine and beautiful jewels. Hello, ladies. Love you, Cat. Oh, thank you, Annika, and love you too. All right. So this is, I want to especially address this problem by Julie. This is also actually the title of this class, when he broke up with you due to miscommunications. This is from Julie. Julie has been working with me for a while. Now she is in the relationship with her EUM, but they have had always problems in the relationship. So let's read it. Hi, Kat. My relationship with my boyfriend was doing great until last weekend due to miscommunication. He claims that I am poor in communicating. Both of us were under stress. I had some major problems at my facility that needs attention. Water heater broke, flat, got to clean up and have the place ready for Sunday night, and and so on. He texted me, but I was able to respond an hour later and was short on my response. He texted me he wanted me to come to have late lunch, but I don't communicate, so they went ahead to eat. My response was, I'm sorry, I got busy trying to fix the problem in my facility. He then responded, is it fixed yet? I responded, yes. So he sent 3 separate messages saying, that's good, taking a nap, come over when you can. My response was, okay. He's giving his son a goodbye dinner at 5:30 that Sunday night. I was on its way to his place to meet up so we can go together to the restaurant. While driving, he has called, but I missed it. I called him twice, but my calls were dropped. I decided to call the restaurant to ask what time is the dinner reservation. The receptionist said they are already here, so I proceeded to go to the restaurant instead of going to my boyfriend's house. While driving, I gave another shot to call my boyfriend, and he responded, but a bit upset. So he proceeded to ask me question why I went straight to the restaurant when we agreed to meet at his place. I explained to him, but he doesn't want my response. He wanted me to admit that I failed to communicate to him that I'm going to be late, that I'm on my way there to his place. I get it. He became more agitated and told me to turn around and go home. He doesn't want to see my face and doesn't want me at the restaurant. He ended up breaking up with me. Yesterday, he realized that he was wrong. We talked and he apologized that his behavior was unacceptable. We got to talk of our differences, but in the end, he wants to set a condition that if I lie, even a small lie, there will be no relationship. My mistake on my part was I asked him, are you calling me a liar? He said, you are capable of lying. I said, I am not, and I did not lie to you. He said, you know what, we are not on the same page. Let's take a break and have something sometimes apart. I just responded, okay, then I hung up. My question, number 1, was it right to give him the space and don't wait for him? 2, is this normal for a man to act paranoid? 3, will he come back? 4, let him go since he needs a lot of time to heal himself. Okay, Julie, your relationship has always been kind of halfway from his point of view. Anyway, this is my impression of your relationship. He's halfway in, halfway out. He always finds like reasons to complain about you or complain about the relationship. He's just basically, seems like he has his own stuff that is preventing him from going deeper with the relationship. He's always ready to jump out of the pond whenever you guys stumble upon some rough patches, correct? Right? That is the nature of your relationship. So even though he's a former EUM now, you are officially in a relationship thanks to, following my advice. You always have to keep in mind that he's always going to be sort of flaky, sort of, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and small things will set him off, like this time around, for example. So what you need to do is, right, number 1, was it right to give him the space and don't wait for him? Yeah. He said he needs a break from you. You already said yes. Just let him be. Trust he will come out of his funky mood. They always do. So like Joey, the same thing. He would be in the lousy mood for like 2 or 3 days, but then he finally, spring back to normal or come out of that funky mood. Just, keep busy. Since you are busy with your work right now, right? You're fixing your facility to make it work again. Just focus on that. On that right now. I don't think you need to worry at all about what happened. It wasn't a big deal. He was probably in a lousy mood, and then he overreacted. And then all of us do that from time to time. So be forgiving, right? And number two, is this normal for a man to act paranoid? Yes, of course. You know, everyone has their own story, has their own issues, their own problems. So men or women, you know, will act paranoid when they haven't mastered skillful thinking. Absolutely. So number three, will he come back? Of course he will come back, like he always did, right? In the past, how many times have you broken up already? You always jump back, right? Jump back right in. But the question is, you know, when he comes back, how would you feel? I mean, you don't know right now, right? But you're always going to be sort of tune in your feelings moment to moment, because maybe you've seen it quite often already, that he always sort of, you know, have a tendency to break up with you. If it was happening to me, you know, I would be less and less impressed through time. You know, I would just be an observer of our relationship and see how it goes, see how, you know, he reacts or he responds or he interacts with me in the relationship, you know, and then adjust to it from time to time, whenever necessary. Number four, should I let him go since he needs a lot of time to heal himself? Well, Julie, you are so deep in love with this man, and I don't think you can let go yet. So let just the relationship unravel by itself or in itself without your interference. What do I mean without your interference? Without you thinking, I should do this, I should do that. Because when you think you should, meaning it's not natural for you yet. It doesn't feel natural. So what is not feeling natural to you is not going to work. So even you ask me, should I walk away? If you have to ask, the answer is most likely no. You know, if you know you need to walk away from a relationship, you won't even ask that sort of question, because it will become obvious to you. I cannot do this any longer. It's not working for me. It doesn't make me happy. So I want to end this. But right now, you know, you are in the situation, you're not over yet, and he's not either. So let the relationship just unfold one way or another. Let the chips fall where they may, right? That is the subject of Module 5, Salvation Through Relationship. So Julie, if you haven't signed up for Module 5, Salvation Through Relationship, I think it's high time for you to really understand the process of healing in a relationship, how relationships actually make each other whole, if you are ready to reclaim the denied parts of yourself that get triggered very often in the relationship. That is actually the purpose of the relationship. But you might not know it, but now you are under, you know, under my care, so to speak. So you would know. So whenever you find recurring issues, recurring problems in your relationship, that means there is a part that needs healing, either in you or in him. If it's in you, then you bring awareness to that recurring theme within your psyche. If it's him, you basically hold space for him to iron out his knots. You know, as I said, you cannot change him. You can only not resist him. So in a way, it makes him see his own ugliness through the mirror that you're holding in his face. That is basically what you're doing with your partner, to each other. Okay, so when you overreacting over something that he does or says, and it happens quite a bit in your relationship, it's telling you something. Why do I stumble upon this problem time and again, over and over and over? Yeah, it happens to me too with Joey. It happens to everyone. That, because I'm aware, it makes me want to know, why is it that this same exact thing that really annoys me about Joey, What is it that I need to heal within myself, right? With salvation through relationship, you will learn what is it that you need to embrace, so you stop getting angry, stop getting triggered by the same exact theme and topic in your relationship. And sometimes you just have to come to the conclusion as well that, it is who he is, and nothing I can do will change him. But at the same time, I know I am right because I don't cause these things. He's just projecting all his stuff, all his woundedness, unresolved issues, and wounds onto me. And to be honest, I don't feel very endeared by that sort of behavior anymore. It's just getting me more and more turned off every day. So what should I do? So when you have come to that conclusion that, you know what, I know these things is a recurring thing in me, and I'm not willing to put up with it anymore because I know the problem doesn't come from me. That is what it means by the relationship running of its course, meaning the relationship is running out of gas. So what are you gonna do? Well, you just let it happen naturally. The relationship's running out of gas, meaning there is not enough glue to continue on the path in which you're going to be together, and that is okay. It's totally fine. So the purpose of a relationship is for you to just learn everything you need to learn about yourself, about life, about human nature, so you become the best version of yourself and the best you can be within the realm of that relationship. And when that relationship has served its purpose, then its usefulness has expired to you. In other words, I'm losing attraction for my partner because of this recurring issue that he doesn't know how to get out of, which I know for sure isn't stemming from me, but his own stories and his own woundedness. And I am done. I'm over it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. That is okay for you to come to that place. Meaning, okay, I will just accept that, this is the end of the road. This is the end of the journey with the two of us. And you release him with love. That is what I mean by walking away without drama, because you are okay with him, you are okay without him. When it becomes so obvious that you don't match energetically or frequency wise or vibrationally, then it's really nothing personal, right? It's just the mismatch in frequency. You are here and he's here. It's not going to work in the long run for the relationship, so you let it go, and it will happen naturally for yourself with the least pain and drama and suffering. Not necessarily true for the other person, of course, because he has his own perception and reality. But it is what it is. Not all relationships are meant to last forever, right? Most relationships are just for a reason. The reason is for you to heal yourself, heal your woundedness, heal your triggers, or for a season, meaning, just for a certain period, certain stage in your life, and then you move on to new chapter, and you are ready to take on the new lessons within the new relationship with different persons, right? With a different man who will trigger a different parts of your woundedness, which means then you will be encouraged once more to look deep within. Why is it now I'm so bothered by this? It never happened within my previous relationship, but with this man, I always got bothered by this particular issue or subject. Then, that is a sign for you. This is the thing that I need to heal within myself. That is the beauty of my teachings, right? To make you whole, to allow you to see your own reflection through the mirror that your partner holds in front of your face. And you do the same for him. So you become each other's mirror, and also, of course, teacher at the same time. So release him with love and thank him for the lessons. Thank him for the journey. You know, even though you're no longer on the same path romantically, doesn't mean you cannot be, you know, having some sort of relationships, you know, maybe in due time, not right away, right? So I hope that answers your question, Julie. So there is no definite answer right now whether or not you should walk away. The fact that you ask shows that you're not ready. So just let the relationship again unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. Let the chips fall where they may. So let him come to you again. He probably wants to call you and talk to you again, you know, addressing the problems or the issues, and you listen to him. You validate him. Yeah, it is also important, of course, to validate, you know, your partner's feelings and concerns, even though, you know, you really are very tempted just to be defensive and to defend yourself, saying it's the problem is not me, the problem is you. It might be true, but again, part of being in a relationship is to learn to understand first, then be understood. When you have done all the understanding and you still not understood, you know, don't worry about it, because you know the dynamics of the relationship will soon come to its own conclusion, whether or not you have it in you to continue carrying on with him in this relationship. So when sooner or later you feel that, you know what, this is not inspiring to me anymore, yeah, you will break up naturally. So let it happen naturally. Okay? So go back to the crime scene, so to speak, and see how it goes. Okay. So this is from Julie again. That is exactly what he's doing to me. I was being accused and humiliated. I understand how that feels when you're being accused. You're doing this, you're doing that. While from where we stand, it's so obvious because you're just projecting your own stories that only exist in your head onto me. And whenever we speak quite that way, they won't understand and they would admit it. Then what can you do? Just accept. He's not in that place yet to see where you're coming from. And that is okay. All right. Anyone else? From Julie. Thank you, Kat. I will make an effort to save up money to sign up for Salvations for Relationship. Yes, please. All right. Let's see some other questions here. Let me see. Okay. All right. Trying to read. This is from Aubrey. How to move forward after a breakup of almost 3 months ago and zero communication. I have realized my mistakes, but I can't turn it around since he hasn't reached out. Tried rotation, but I haven't had much luck with the men I've been meeting. I want to trust the process of letting things unfold as they will, but as time goes on, I feel there is no chance I would ever be able to resolve things with him. You know, Aubrey, I know how it feels, that especially in a breakup situation, and when you realize that you've done something wrong or you made a mistake, your first instinct is to fix it, right? You want to call him and you want to apologize, you want to explain yourself and make things right again. And you know, most of the time that doesn't work. So something that you need to learn before you can be a great partner and have a high EQ in terms of relationship is to have uh, as as little attachment as possible to a person, to an idea, and to an idea of the future and an outcome, right? Those three things. So if you're attached to to him or a man or any particular person, that you cannot live without him or her, right? Or them, um, and you are so attached to an idea of the future with this particular person, and you are so attached to an outcome, which whatever outcome that you have in mind, right? Either to go back together or to get married, to have babies, you're going to put yourself in a very precarious position. So you become very vulnerable to suffering, to pain and suffering. So understand that to come to a place, a healthy place in which you can conduct yourself as an emotionally intelligent person in a relationship, any kind of relationship, not just romantic, you have to learn the art of detaching to the ego, or detaching to the mind. So if you're new to my program, to my stuff, start with the Journey Inward, which is my signature inner work program that is very profound, that has helped so many women like overcome their life problems and their depression. Some of them, this program has also helped them getting off antidepressants, for example, or anti-anxiety medications, and get husbands or exes back and improve their relationship or marriages. This program has saved so many marriages, bring it back from the brink of a divorce. So if you're new to my teachings, please start there. So you will understand more what I'm talking about the art of detachment. So right now, your situation is you broke up with your boyfriend, right? It's been 3 months and he hasn't reached out. And probably you have tried to reach out. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you already apologized, reach out, but no response from him. So this is just the time for you to let go, honey. I'm sorry. I know how hard, how painful it is, because I've been in that situation before, and I went through 4 years of extreme anxiety. But thanks to that, I've come to this place of groundedness, of centeredness. I've come to the place of transcending the mind, thanks to that painful breakup and suffering. So I do totally understand how you're feeling right now, and this is actually the chance for you, the time for you to probably learn a thing or two about what is not working in your life, that is leading with the ego, right? And please tune in. I have so many videos about the ego and free blog posts, so you want to familiarize yourself with the concept, what I mean by the ego. Okay, so right now he is not talking to you, so accept it. Just let him go. Let him go. I know it's hard and it doesn't even make sense. How can I let go? I don't want to let go. But the thing is, when you're not letting go, the only person who will get burned through that act of clinging is you yourself. It's not other people. So in order for you to have, to try to get the relationship back, you have to first get yourself back. Okay? So be okay with what is, with the reality of the moment. Be okay that you might not spend the rest of your life growing old with this person. Be okay with it. Be at peace with it. And know that, he's not going to be the only man who can inspire that desire in you to grow old with. There will be other men. There will be so many men who will come across your path, who will one day replace him in your heart. I know you cannot see it right now, and right now you just want to be with him. I totally understand that, but do not go against the current of life. The current of life right now is he is not in your life. So adjust to it. Adjust to reality moment to moment. Okay, be okay with what is, whatever that is. That is my first lesson in love and life. Okay, so whenever he reaches out though, and I'm sure at some point he will reach out, because they always reach out, they always bounce back, they always have unfinished business, no matter how bad the breakup was. So then it's important when he reaches out again, you are in the best shape or the best frame of mind, so you don't create any more resistance and barrier in him that's stopping you from getting back together. So you, again, PM me if you want to work with me one-on-one on how to deal with this when he reaches out again, because I'm sure he will reach out again. They always do. And that is the time for you to present your new self, your shifted energy, not by you imposing yourself, telling them, look, hey, I'm not crazy anymore. No, it doesn't work that way, right? The only way they know that you're not crazy anymore is when you appear in their life, presumably because he's missing you, he's reaching out to you first, and you feel different to him because your energy feels different. You're not in a state of mind that is showing that you're depressed or suffering or anything like that, right? So that's how a guy knows that you have changed. That sense of calmness, that sense of okayness with yourself. All right. Okay. So I have only 13% left on my battery life. So I'm probably gonna just answer one more question, and the rest of the questions will be tackled in the next class, probably sometimes next month. This is from Lisa. Is it ever appropriate to suggest how he could step up more? Is there a goddess way to do this, or is it only through actions of leaning back and rotating or being less available that he'll get the hint that he's not offering enough? Within the emotionally intelligent method that I teach, suggesting to a guy that he needs to do this, he needs to do that, mothering him, giving him direction, what he needs to do to make you happy in a relationship, is not the way to go, and it has very minimum level of success, right? If it's that easy, if it's that simple, if you just tell a guy what to do and he does what you want him to do and tell him to do, then I would be out of business very soon. You won't need me anymore. But the reason I'm here for you and I'm so successful in what I do is because I teach the total opposite of your first instinct, to always talk about your feelings, talk about what works for you, what doesn't work for you, to try to influence him, to try to make him do things as per your idea of how you need to be treated. Okay, so this is why I teach talk less, to talk less. So get that talk less class. So it's always working better when you showing him with your energy and or actions or lack thereof that whatever he's offering to you is not really impressing you. Not so much about saying you suck. Even though, of course, you can, right? Not saying that you can't at all. Yeah, I'm sure I have done it too. To the man in the past that that what is offering is not working. Or even to Joe, sometimes I would just say it as it is, but then I stick to what I say. And I don't make it like a point of nagging, like you keep bringing up the same thing over and over again. And you know how it goes, right? When you just keep saying the same thing over and over again, which I have to admit, I'm sometimes guilty of that too. Yeah, who isn't? Sometimes we all are guilty of that. So what works better is really just to take care of your own needs, to show it to him that, you know what, you never take me out. Hey, you want to hang out now? And then you offer me to come to your place, then you can just say, hey, I feel like tasting this new restaurant tonight, so I'll probably just see you some other time. So you don't say to him, oh, you never take me out. Okay? But instead, you know what? Since you never take me out, without saying it, since you never take me out, I'm going to take myself out to this new restaurant. I'll see you when I see you. Keep doing that. Okay, so whenever a guy isn't stepping up the way you want him to be, then don't be exclusive with him. As simple as that. Get that talk less class. It's very counterintuitive, but it works like a charm. Okay, so you become more high value when you conveying who you are through your actions and your energy, not through nagging. That is the very definition of a goddess that cat ladies are all about. All right. Okay, ladies, I'm sorry, I have only 5% left, so I have to end this class, and I'll see you again next month. And until then, stay good. Okay, bye bye.